And there was a story in the blogosphere today suggesting the Cowboys should consider trading Dak Prescott to either perhaps the Chargers or even most interestingly, perhaps to the New England Patriots. All right, this is the blogosphere, and someone's written an opinion piece. I don't think it's that far-fetched, though. I would rather trade Dak and acquire draft picks than overpay Dak Prescott. Marcellus, I can already see that look on your eyes. You're already upset with me. Should the Cowboys actually consider trading Dak Prescott?
Hell no. This is absurd. And I will only answer this because I want that check to clear. I can't be messing around right now in these trying times. So I will do my job and answer this. This is absurd. Like every party mentioned in this article has to be disgusted in disbelief and just rolling their eyes. Like, where are we getting this from? Because we're at an impasse in terms of contract talks, everyone's now lending themselves to just guesswork. Like, oh, even in the article it says this is pure conjecture, but maybe they think the Chargers are more interested in Dak Prescott than a Justin Herbert, so maybe it will make sense for him to be an LA Charger. Do we know what all it entails to be a franchise quarterback? Everything that comes with that, not just production, not just leadership, but I'm talking about not only keeping the image in a place where you can be responsible and accountable, but also leading other men. Like, there's so many attributes that come to that. When you find that guy, you don't let that guy go. I understand that it's rare, extremely rare, to have him on a franchise tag, but it's extreme to take from the franchise tag to actually make that guy trade bait. I thought it was absurd.
I don't think it's absurd at all. I think it's a possibility, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's a possibility. When you have a player and his representation feel as though the number that they want goes above and beyond the number that the organization isn't willing to go to make this happen, then now it opens up grounds for a different conversation to take place. If you want to be in the conversation of being paid like the number one, number two, number three quarterbacks at your position, but the franchise isn't willing to do that, it creates an issue, right? So now we look at Zeke last year. Zeke had the ability to leverage being one of the best, if not the best running back in the league and get that contract based off of that premise. I don't see Dak Prescott having that same value and being able to try to basically hold the team hostage in terms of getting that deal done. If you go into the season with that feeling and that type of discord between the quarterback and the organization, knowing that this is what the player wants versus what the organization wants, I think it now becomes feasible to try to figure out if you can cut your losses, get a value, because there's still a tremendous value connected to a possible trade with Dak Prescott. And then you look to see if you can replace the value of your quarterback with someone else, draft or free agent.
Listen, I'm going to jump in right off LeVar and ask this question. And my memory's fuzzy right here in the moment. But would the Washington Redskins have been better to trade Kirk Cousins than didn't he just walk after getting 2 franchise tags placed on him, and then he walked and they get nothing in return? That's my memory of it. And to me, I don't think you can argue that Dak Prescott has proven that he's any better than Kirk Cousins was in Washington.
Well, they're in 2 different situations. Everyone out of Dallas says that Dak is the future, where Kirk Cousins wasn't necessarily deemed the future. He was certainly the present, and they were hoping for even more in the future. So I think you're already at a different starting point. More than that, anytime you have a contract negotiation, you will have stalling moments. And in those moments, no one wants to give away money. So that's why we're at an impasse. But I don't think we should now use our imagination because of this impasse. This is par for the course. We're talking about potentially paying him the most in NFL history. You think that's going to come easily? It's going to take effort. It's going to take time. And it's going to take a deadline, because nothing in life gets done without a deadline. So for me, I just relax and just wait for this to play itself through. But it's certainly not going to end with Dak Prescott being on another roster.
But again, where is that leverage if you're Dak Prescott? If you're going for the largest contract in the history of the league at the position, where is your leverage? And I think that that's where the biggest discussion point here comes into play into why this is a debatable topic. If I'm looking at the current guys out there, you look at Cam Newton's out there, you look at Jameis Winston. All right, we go all on Jameis Winston for throwing all of these interceptions, but think about this. Jameis led the league in passing yards last year. He was the passing leader of the season last year. Those guys are motivated, they're willing and able, and they probably can be signed at a lower price tag. So I think when you look at the field of who could possibly come in and be a guy that you put in place, if you were able to get a trade, you're talking about a mid-round guy and Dak Prescott. So even if you got a second-round pick with a fourth-round pick or a second-round pick in this draft, a second-round pick in next year's draft, and conditional deal, you still got a tremendous value on unloading Dak Prescott if you believe it is an unsignable deal. And I don't see the leverage in making him the highest paid player ever in the history of the game at this moment.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.